Hey, true believers, ENGLENTINE here, and I'm a huge fan of the Marvel shows on Netflix, so much so that while I do not like them all equally, the only one I actively dislike is Jessica Jones Season 2, and the most consistent of them, in my opinion, has been Daredevil. It's just been amazing, and I'm so jazzed for Season 3, but I was thinking, what is it? What is it that Daredevil's been missing all of these years? And I figured it out. It's politics. But thankfully, Daredevil Season 3 on Netflix gets political. Now, this was sent to me by a viewer, and I appreciate that. And it goes, comic books have always been political, so it's no surprise when comic book movies and TV shows are too. But showrunners like Eric Olson, who helms Netflix Daredevil Season 3, don't always have so clear a vision for the message they want to send, as Olson expressed during interviews at New York Comic Con recently. Another one of my goals is not to just tell a story that's mindless entertainment and has lots of gee whiz stuff, Olson said. I wanted the show to become part of the conversation about the world we're living in today and to make it relevant, or to date it incredibly badly. Now, here's the thing. Having a message in a show isn't inherently bad. Pushing your politics and alienating half of the viewership is. Now, full disclosure, I have not read this article yet. I wanted to save it. I like to save a lot of the articles I talk about so the reaction you get is valid. It's like or genuine. It's the first thing that comes to mind. So just bear with me on that I haven't read this yet all the way through. It continues, the last we saw of Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil Charlie Cox, was in The Defenders when a skyscraper collapsed on him and Elektra. The show eventually revealed that Murdock was still alive, though understandably he's in bad shape when Daredevil Season 3 picks up his story. Read our Season 3 review here. No, I will not. Nothing personal, I just don't like to read a lot of interviews or reviews before I see a show that I'm really jazzed for. I wanted to kick off the season with Matt having an honest emotional reaction to what happened in The Defenders, Olson said. He's damaged physically, he's damaged emotionally, and he's damaged spiritually. God dang it, I can't read, what up? He's damaged physically, he's damaged emotionally, and he's damaged spiritually. He's very angry at God for what he thought should have happened, and all of the sacrifice he has made have been for naught, and he's been punished for that instead. Matt's situation will only worsen when fan favorite villain Wilson Fisk, a.k.a. the Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio, manipulates his way out of prison, and the two face off once again, and it sounds like that's where the show will really start to get political. Can we place bets? Gentleman's agreement, so to speak? Let me guess. Kingpin is Trump? Trump is Kingpin? Do you think we're going to go that way? Maybe? I don't know. Let's see. I wanted this season to be prescriptive of how we can defeat the rise of narcissistic tyrants who use our fears against us, he continued. A big part of that involves Karen Page's Deborah Ann Wall role as a journalist. Karen Page's role. Okay, there you go. That was a badly written sentence, or I just can't read it right. I guess the weird thing here is that when I hear him say the whole thing about the tyrant, the narcissistic thing, if I say, wow, he's making it about Trump, that would seem as if that's the way I see Trump because I'm making the connection. However, this has been shouted and yelled at by everybody with Trump derangement syndrome so much, you just absolutely know, or at least make a safe assumption that that is exactly who they're talking about. Karen Page is a representative of the power of the free press that should be left to do what it does best instead of being attacked incessantly, God dang it, and sometimes physically, Olson said. It is a very topical season. I wanted it to be, I was pissed off. Olson said his father worked for organizations like the Defense Intelligence Agency and the CIA while he was growing up, and from an early age he's been familiar with the techniques of psychological warfare. Why? Was there a lot of bring your kids to work days at the CIA? I hate it when people say that kind of stuff. My dad was an accountant, so I'm really good at doing my taxes. No, okay, you know what? Yeah, my dad doesn't mean you have those skills. Just saying. And oh my gosh, how right we are about the whole Trump derangement syndrome. Let me just say that I would love for people to stop and think. Just think. Whatever you're thinking about, recognize that when you are being targeted with manipulations, there's an agenda behind that, and a villain out in the world who is manipulating you to feel a certain way, to act a certain way, to vote a certain way, to behave a certain way, and has his or her own motives for doing so, he said. And it's very easy to just go through life on autopilot and not realize that. But as somebody who grew up kind of learning the techniques of psychological warfare because of daddy-son days at the CIA, it is very alarming to me to see it being used inside our own country against our own people on a daily basis. Now, I could be wrong. Now, I mentioned, oh, you could tell it's the whole Trump thing, blah, 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 yada, 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 but maybe he's actually talking about the mainstream media anyway. He did mention Karen Page. He didn't mention Wilson Fisk yet. So maybe it's all about how the mainstream media does exactly what he just said, manipulates you into feeling a certain way, acting a certain way, behaving a certain way. Over the last, I don't know, what, 8 years or so, we've seen people on the mainstream media attack the First Amendment to the point where people are willing to give up their First Amendment rights. We've seen them attack the Second Amendment until people are willing to give up their Second Amendment rights. And recently, most recently, they want to get rid of the 6th and the 14th. So how many more freedoms can they attack and convince people that are not necessary to freedom? So yeah, like I said, maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe it's going to go in a completely different way than what I realized. Olson described the guiding principle, the core theme that guided his writer's room during production. You can only be free if you confront your fears, because your fears are what enslave you. That idea will guide the arc of every character in the show this season, from Matt to Karen to Foggy, and presumably even to Fisk himself. All right, nothing really to say about that one, thanks. Moving on. The man without fear is not without fear, he said. Every single true human being on this planet is afraid of something, and the people who understand what you are afraid of and can use that against you can rise in power, can manipulate you to their own ends, but also you can hold yourself back from your true nature and your own best self if you act out of fear. You are listening to the devil on your shoulder, not the angel on your shoulder. Wow, can something sound true and sanctimonious all at the same time? That takes skill, my friend. Olson said he was a huge fan of the message Jessica Jones showrunner Melissa Rosenberg was able to get across with that show's first season, and he was eager to leave his own mark on the Netflix Marvel universe of shows. I figured if Marvel was going to give me their flagship show, I was going to use it to say something meaningful, he explained. Of everything that I've read in this article, I have to admit that is the scariest thing I've read in this article. Mainly because I've always said, and look, books have messages, shows have messages for years, decades, since the beginning of the superhero comic book. Comic books have had politics and messages in them. But if you come at it going, I've got a message, let's write a story, you're doing it wrong, right? The story include the message. Boom. That's the way to do it, and this has me nervous that they went the other way, that they put the message before the story. I hope not. I've got faith, and the damn show looks great, so fingers crossed that that's the way it's going to go. What do you think? What do you think about everything that's been said? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, share, subscribe. Or if you don't like it and you want to hate watch, click like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Cool things happen around these parts. Hate for you to miss it. Also, this is the way I'm trying to make a living. So if you don't mind helping out the channel and helping me make videos for you, please go on over to Patreon. Drop $1 in the till. The link's in the description below. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers. Thank you very, very much for watching.